And welcome, friends, best friends and all. Welcome to Kiki's Best Friends Radio Show. As that beautiful announcer said, it is a show about friends who have survived their worst and are now living their best. And I am here with just some best of Tucson people. I am so excited to have co-host Jose Oliver with Awakening Minds LLC. Hello, Jose.
Hello, Kiki. Very good to see you.
It is great to see you too. What a beautiful Sunday it is in Tucson.
It is indeed 300 days a year, right, of sunshine.
300 days a year of sunshine, absolutely. And Jose, why don't you share a little bit about what you do with Awakening Minds?
Oh, thank you, Kiki. That's a good question. So, John Maxwell has been called the guru of leadership for the longest, and one of his phrases is everything falls and rises on leadership. Then the other question that we may have, okay, what is leadership? And leadership is influence, nothing more, nothing less. So these are two phrases that Mr. Maxwell shares with us. What we do at Awakening Minds, we develop and support entities to put into practice behaviors that will allow us to practice this influence in our people. So this applies to families, this applies to organizations, for-profit, non-for-profit, it doesn't matter. Leadership, everything falls and rises on leadership. That's what we do, Kiki.
Oh, that's amazing. So you help develop leaders. If you want to learn more about that, you can find Jose Oliver at awakeningmindsllc.com, correct? And do you have a phone number, another way for them to reach you?
Yeah, certainly. I believe the website is the very best way, awakeningmindsllc.com, but also my phone number, 520-977-2921 is another way to get a hold of me.
Excellent. Well, as a leadership coach, I invited you to come on as my co-host today because I have a very special, actually two guests with us that I knew you would love to meet Jose and get to know as a leadership coach, because we have a developing leader in our community right in front of me here. We are accompanied with Leigh, and Cole is part of We Care Tucson, and so we have also Mimi Agula with We Care Tucson, the director, joining us. Welcome, Cole and Mimi.
Welcome. Thanks for having us.
Thank you for having me.
Well, I am so honored for you to join us on the show today because, like we said, we do talk about stories of people who've been through their worst and now living their best. And Mimi recommended Cole for the show today. And just to full disclosure, with full pride, Mimi and We Care Tucson are also proud sponsors of the Kiki's Best Friends Radio Show, and we are so grateful for that, as we are for all of our sponsors. But Mimi recommended Cole to be on as our guest today because Cole has quite a remarkable story from his worst to best. Is that correct?
Yes.
So let's talk a little bit about that. We're just going to jump right in and share a little bit, Cole, tell us about where you were at before you were introduced to We Care Tucson.
Well, I grew up for a long time in the system, going in and out of foster homes and group homes. And when I turned 18, I had become homeless.
Okay.
And when I became homeless, I had met my girl while I was homeless. And for a few years, we were homeless on the streets, living in a tent down on Broadway in Houghton. And we were really struggling. And my girl recommended that I needed to get back into schooling. And it was right in the transition of going from homeless to transitional living. And so my agency referred me out to We Care Tucson for a school laptop.
Okay.
And I ended up getting a laptop through them so that I could try to transition into schooling. And ever since then, I ended up getting into IT certification schooling for New Horizons. And I got into schooling, and I also went into the WEX program, which is a work experience program. And they assigned me to We Care Tucson, coincidentally. And ever since then, I did 9 months of volunteer service there, basically refurbishing and repairing laptops in the back of the shop and helping get laptops ready for school. For school kids themselves.
Well, how great. Talk about really giving back to something that had been there to help you out.
Yeah. And it got me a lot of good hands-on experience actually realizing how tech worked. You know, before then, I really didn't know how to turn on a computer. I didn't know much about it. You know, you don't have it when you're in the system growing up. You don't have those things with you. And getting into it really inspired a career into it. So.
Well, that's awesome. We're going to get more into that, but I do this to my guests quite often. Mimi, you've heard the show a few times. You've heard me. I'm like, okay, that sounds great. Let's go back though. Let's take it a step back. You're on the street. You're 18 years old. grew up in the system in foster cares and group homes, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. Didn't have any family support at that point?
Not from me, not really. My mom hasn't really been there. I went in at about 5 years old, and going in and out of group homes, foster homes, facilities, it was kind of hard to have a support there for me.
So when you were then essentially said, okay, you're 18, congratulations, there's the door.
Yeah.
How did you feel at that moment? Where did you feel? Did you have any options, or the street was the only option for you?
The street was really the only option. Like, I was trying to get myself into college, but having no support at the same time, and not having a job and not learning those career skills to actually get out and get something done, it was pretty hard.
Now, did you have a high school diploma at that point?
I ended up getting my GED.
So was that kind of your first step then?
Yeah, I attended Goodwill Metro downtown. So.
Oh, very good, very good. Mimi, why don't you share a little bit about your impression of Cole when you first met him?
How I learned his backstory was and he'd been already with us for a few months, and we were having lunch. We kind of every once in a while will bring in lunch for all our volunteers and staff, and Cole started telling us about how he gotten a laptop from us before he ever started. And listening to him tell his story was just amazing, because sitting here and we knew he was going to be a father. The baby hadn't been born yet when he told us the story. And it was just like such pride for him, because he was a great worker. He always shows up on time, and we watch him, develop and watch him come out of a shell. A lot of the times the volunteers that have those backstories come to us, they're very quiet, they don't say a lot, and it takes them a bit, and you watch them come out of their shell. And when you talked about starting this radio show, I immediately thought about Cole, because his story is one remarkable of perseverance, of not giving up, and making something happen. And I thought that's inspiring.
That is. Where's that perseverance come from, Cole?
Just, getting used to life after being homeless, and getting off the streets. We had a few pregnancies out there on the streets, and unfortunately we lost our first kid.
I'm sorry.
We got our rights severed, and having my second daughter really, be able to bring her home from the hospital kind of changed everything.
You kind of wanted to do differently at that point?
Yeah, I wanted to be there for her. I didn't want to be a father that was ashamed of something, and just recently, while I'm working at We Care, I just had my son. So
congratulations. So this is your second child that you guys have with you, and then one that you no longer have parental rights to, but are in a home life of their own.
Yeah.
So congratulations on the new baby. How old?
He's 7 months right now.
Oh, that's fun.
But yeah, we had to go through DCS immediately when my second daughter was born, and being on the streets before that was the reason that we couldn't bring our first daughter home. And having our rights severed, when our second daughter came home, it was like we have a chance to fight back and do something about it.
That's amazing.
So not even 7 days ago, we beat our DCS case.
Wonderful. Congratulations. Did you have a question, Jose?
I don't have any questions, but what I can see is an awakening time for Cole when he was exhausted of what was life. And what I can see is that he decided to do something different. He didn't accept such life as he had. So I can see an awakening time on his, so that he said, no more. I want no more of this. I want something different for me, for my family. I want to bring my child home. I make emphasis, home. And he said, no more. So congratulations,
and
Cole.
now he brought a second child home.
Yes.
Little boy.
They didn't open a case at all on him, so we're very glad.
That shows you worked really hard to work with the system and to prove yourself and turn things around.
Yeah, it was extremely difficult for a time there, having to do all the services on top of just getting our first apartment and getting into work and school at the same time. It was probably one of the most difficult times of my life.
Wow. Well, I'm really, really proud that you're here sharing about it. Thank you for that. We're going to go into a break pretty soon. When we come back, I want to hear a little bit more about what life is like now, what your new adventures are, and what advice you give to others who may be in that same situation. You might be someone who is struggling, working with the system, working to fight for your children, fight for your life, fight for. And I want to thank our sponsors, We Care Tucson, Sarah Souders Luxury Real Estate, specializing in Oro Valley, and now also with the Tucson and Marana Homeowners magazines coming out, and of course Kiki Rogers Country Financial. We're going to come back after this break, and we'll talk to you then. And welcome back, friends. Again, this is Kiki Rogers with Kiki's Best Friends Radio Show, a show that shares stories of people who've been through their worst and are now living their best. We are here today with Cole Leigh and Mimi Agula. Am I saying your last name right?
No R on the end.
No R, Agula. Agula with We Care Tucson. Well, we are so blessed. Cole's here sharing his story about how he came to We Care Tucson while he was turning his life around. And then we are also joined with my co-host, Jose Oliver, with AwakeningMindsLLC.com.
Good to see you, Kiki.
Good to see you and hear your voice again.
Thank you.
Yes, and we are learning more about Cole. Cole was, I'm getting waved at the studio about Jose. Oh, we have a caller with a comment. This is new for us, y'all. We now can take calls because we are live. If you want to call in, it's 520-790-2040. So we're going to have a caller brought into the conversation here. So, hello, caller. This is Kiki.
Hi, Kiki. My name is Melinda.
Hi, Melinda.
Hi. I'm a court reform advocate.
Okay.
I work with a lot of parents who lose their children to DCS in Tucson. And I'd like to ask this young man, were there any other issues besides homelessness that he lost his daughter?
Yes, there was quite a bit of drug use, from being homeless, and, that also added and attributed to it.
So how long have you been clean?
I've been clean from opioids for a little bit over 5 years, and I've been clean from methamphetamine for about a year and a half now.
Good for you. That's quite an amazing accomplishment. Well, thank you so much, caller, for calling in. We're going to go.
May I say one?
Absolutely. Go ahead.
These agencies are funded with millions and millions of dollars. And instead of taking a family that has potential and saying, look, we're going to help you with your drug addiction, and we are going to help you with homelessness. Because there are parents who lose their children simply because they're poor and they're homeless, and there are no drug issues. The last time I checked, it was $83,000 per year per child given to DCS or these agencies to keep children away from their families.
That's very interesting, and
it's much more now.
For the sake of time, caller, I really appreciate you calling in. I think we do have a comment from another caller. Real quick before we take that second caller, though, I do want Cole to speak out to the agencies that helped him, because we do know that he got in touch with some great agencies, helped him get involved with school, got him the computer from Free Care. Why don't you go ahead and give a shout out to those positive agencies that were helpful for you?
Yes, One Stop Career Center was a big positive agency for me. They were actually the ones that got me into New Horizons for IT certifications, and they also got me into the WEX program. So they're the reason I was placed at We Care in the first place, and I couldn't thank them enough, and Goodwill as well.
I love that. Thank you so much. And then we have a comment from Lisa. Hello, Lisa.
Hello.
Hi, Lisa. How are you doing today?
Oh, I'm living that dream.
I love it. What makes you call in today?
Well, I'm actually Cole's fiance, soon-to-be wife.
Well, oh my gosh, what a delight. Hello. Congratulations to you and your family.
We're at home listening right now.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Do you want to give a shout out to your fiance while we finish up our call? Or finish up our interview, I mean?
I sure do. And the kids are listening to you right now. We're so proud of you and all of the strides you've made and all the dreams that you make come true for us every day. And we love you so much, and I can't wait to marry you.
Oh, how wonderful. Thank you, Lisa, for calling in. We only have about 10 minutes left of the show, so we want to go ahead and give Cole a moment to share a little bit more about what life is like now. You're now employed at We Care Tucson, correct?
Yes, I just
Okay.
started employment about January because my WEX program ended and they were happy enough to take me on. So
Wonderful. And so you're working for them, and then what else do you have on the horizon?
well, right now, like I said, I just proposed about a week ago. So me and my fiance are thinking about getting married in the next 2 weeks. Just gonna have a small courthouse wedding and everything, but it's in preparation to the Navy. I've been in cybersecurity for a while, learning about it, and it really interests me. And this next month, I will be deciding to join the U.S. Navy and going into cyber warfare for them.
Oh my goodness, what a turnaround story. I'm so proud to have you on our show today. If you know someone else that is in a similar situation that you are in, Cole, what advice and guidance would you give for them?
I would just tell them, don't give up. You know, anything is possible. And at one point, I didn't believe it myself. And, you know, losing my kid and, you know, going through all the struggle, it was really hard for me to think about anything above myself. But
That's amazing. Jose, you were sharing about awakening moments, working with people and those kinds of moments. How do you see people find that strength to turn it around?
The strength comes from within, not from without. So what I see in Cole on his story is that he decided, once again, he accepted to be in the system, but at some point he said, thank you, system, but I'm no longer of the system. I'm no longer part of the system. So he decided to jump in and said, I am not something new. We got to acknowledge he was pushed at 18 to do that. So good for Cole that he overcame that obstacle, that challenge of saying, okay, I became 18 and some others fall into sleep and they stay on the streets. Cole, on the other hand, he said, okay, I have been pushed because now I turned 18, but he decided to jump in and said, I'm going to excel at what I do. And now he has a good story to tell for years to come.
He sure does. You said it wasn't easy. You said it was the hardest thing to do.
It was not easy at all.
Yeah.
But I can say that having my kids really woke me up a lot.
Awesome.
You know, I didn't even think about having kids when I was homeless. I didn't think about having a life where I could get up and brush my teeth and go to work, you know. And even now it's hard to adjust to those daily habits, but I'm getting the hang of it. You know, we moved into a bigger apartment. We're very happy right now. So.
And what is your key to success for your sobriety?
Just basically staying on the path. You know, you don't need drugs to make you feel okay. You know, it's a temporary thing. And honestly, waking up and seeing my kids, my family there all together and not feeling ashamed of what I'm doing.
Good for you. Mimi, you probably see stories like this come through We Care Tucson all the time, don't you?
I do, but we don't always get to see the end. And with Cole, we got to see the end. And one of the neatest things was when you showed me the engagement ring, he was just beaming and stuff. And he was proud. He made an accomplishment. You know, you set these milestones that some of us just take for granted. And here he is. And I'm so proud of him and so grateful to know you and get to see the end. That's what's really cool.
And so We Care Tucson provided Cole with a laptop. What are some of the other services that We Care Tucson does in our community?
So we provide low-cost computers that are for sale that anybody can come in the showroom and get it. Cole got the computer through our low-cost computer referral program. Those are for people that even can't afford what's in the showroom. We also have free medical supplies, and we're a loan chest for medical equipment. And we recycle.
And they recycle. So if you have any medical equipment or computer, electronics, televisions, I've even seen some real old school before the 3.5 floppy disks. It's like there's a little section in the store. If you have not visited We Care Tucson, anyone is welcome to visit the store, correct?
Absolutely.
And anyone is welcome to purchase from the store.
Absolutely.
Even if you don't feel like you're a person of need, you can support the store by purchasing items at retail price, correct?
It's not
Or
retail.
even lower.
It's
I mean,
way lower.
I mean, like compared to giving it away.
Right.
Yeah.
Anybody can come in. It all helps us. And part of our mission is to remove the barriers. And so we don't ask any questions. So it's not about how much you make or what, it's about getting access to something you need.
So how can people support We Care Tucson most?
The most is that look through your closets for your old technology, bring it in, donate it, and you can see what all we do by visiting wecaretucson.org.
And Jose, what last words of wisdom do you have for someone who is in a similar position as Cole or wants to seek out more help?
That's a big challenge that you put in front of me, Kiki, because I'm learning from two great people, Mimi and Cole. Honestly, I'm taking my notes. What I like is learning from, how to overcome these challenges.
Mm-hmm.
And both Mimi and Cole have talked us today. They are not here to preach us. They're here to demonstrate it can be done.
Mm-hmm.
It can be done.
It can be done. You are a great example of that, Cole. Any last words you want to share with our listeners?
No, I just wanted to say thank you for allowing me on the show and everything, and I'm glad to tell my story and get it out there because anything is possible.
Well, we're so glad to have you. God bless you and Lisa and your beautiful growing family and your new engagement. We wish you the absolute best and thank her again for calling in for us. That was a wonderful surprise.
Thank you.
And Mimi, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Being our sponsor. We couldn't love on you and We Care Tucson enough. Again, how can people find you and get in touch with We Care Tucson?
You can call us at 520-514-1588 or visit us on the web at wecaretucson.org.
And the store location is?
3029 North Stone.
Wonderful. Well, we wouldn't be here without our sponsors like We Care Tucson, so thank you to them. Please go ahead and bring any of your, especially medical supplies or electronics that you have to recycle to them. Also, reach out to Sarah Sodders, Luxury Real Estate. She is the producer of the Oro Valley Homeowners Magazine, and she's having her launch party for the February issue tomorrow evening. So if you are looking for real estate in Oro Valley, Marana, or the Tucson area, definitely reach out to Sarah Sodders, Luxury Real Estate, and of course, Kiki Rogers, Country Financial. I am so grateful for all of our sponsors, our guests. Thank you guys for being here. We couldn't do it without you. And remember, folks, be the best you that you can be, because no one else can do it better than you. This is Kiki Rogers with Kiki's Best Friends Radio Show, and we will talk to you next week.